La soledad me sigue consumiendo, más te estoy extrañando, no lo puedo negar.
Hi, I'm Kirsten Stewart. Welcome to the Hecky Show. Today I decided that I wanted to make some Bistec Encebollado, also known as cube steak with tons of onions. Tag along and see how you make this. You'll need some black pepper, adobo. I added some parsley to mine. Sazón Goya. Onion powder. And garlic powder. What I did with that is so first off, I rinsed off the meat with just some water. Then I added a few tablespoons of white distilled vinegar to that so that it got nice and clean. Once drained, I pat dried it. Put on all these seasonings, aforementioned. And I also use some sofrito. I got this frozen stuff at the supermarket, I'll show you. It's just this. Some of that. I diced up some onions, olive oil, and one shallot. Mixed it all in, and I let this sit overnight. You don't have to do it, the night ahead. You can always do this, season everything an hour out, and then take it out. Everything comes to room temperature, and then you can start cooking. So what you're gonna want to do now is preheat some vegetable oil or canola oil, and we're gonna sear the meat first. In the meantime, I'm gonna dice up some more onions because I like my Bistec Encebollado with tons of onions. And I cook it with but I like And these I literally just cut in rounds as if you were going to use them for onion rings. Just a quick little. Obviously be careful not to cut your fingers off. But at this point it looks like the oil is probably nice and hot. Okay. I'm just gonna start to sear these, just to lock in some of that flavor and give a nice color. Doesn't really matter if they overlap one another, just a little bit. So we'll do about 5 minutes per side, and then remove them, and do the same to the rest of these, because these will eventually be cooking all together. Upon further investigation, I realized that there's way too much liquid due to the marinade. All that liquid is doing is this. So it's gonna actually prevent the meat from searing. I've gone ahead and turned it once, but I'll show you. That's not really gonna sear because there's too much liquid. So what I'm gonna go ahead and do is I've got another pan over here going. I'm gonna add the rest of these steaks to that. Just add some oil. Let that warm through. And if you find yourself with this issue of being unable to sear, it's really not that serious, because everyone I know, they've only ever cooked this way without searing. So it's really not that big a deal. It's just an extra step that I do for added flavor and aesthetics. So now what I'm gonna do is, I'm just gonna add the rest of the steaks to this pan, load them on up, throw some beer in there, and let it do its own thing. So you're probably gonna wanna cook this for about half an hour. Once it's cooked for about half an hour, I'll remove the cover, add some chopped up potatoes, just a couple potatoes for thickness. This will essentially make like a roux. Gravy, and thicken that with a little cornstarch mixture. Old-fashioned style, just throw some potatoes in there, nice small little chunks to cook with it. That will thicken it on its own. As you can see, I've gone ahead and added the onions that were in the mixture, the marinade, onto this. So that'll all cook together. All that's gonna do is enhance the flavor so much more. And these will get nice and translucent and delicious. So if that's the only onion you want to use, if you're not a big onion fan, if your kids are gonna try to pick them out, I would say this is all you do with the onion. No more than this is really necessary. If you really hate the texture of onion, just add extra onion powder. So it'll add the flavor, no texture. So what we'll do now, as you can see this is going, I'm gonna add some Heineken beer to both of these. About a quarter cup each. And then you get to drink the rest while you finish cooking. Then, I will pop a lid on these hoes and let them do their thing. So right now I'm just cutting up some potatoes, very, very small pieces, to add to the steak that is currently cooking. And this, not only will this add flavor to it, but like I said earlier, it'll also thicken the roux or sauce that all of the ingredients naturally make. I wish you could all smell this right now. Smell-o-vision will eventually come out. You can smell the beer and the steak and the spices. So now I'm just gonna add some more water to this. It's totally okay to add water as you go to this, because you really want it to be super, super tender. And although the vinegar helps with tenderizing the meat as well, you know, this is just the way it's done. Slow cooked. These potatoes, get them all nice in the pool. That will thicken up all that liquid eventually. The potatoes have been in there for probably a good 20, 25-ish minutes. And at this point, we're gonna add some more onion. These are honestly just for flavor. So once these are translucent, I would say the rest is pretty much done. And The rest of the onions I add will be for crunch. This is what we have. I ended up making 2 versions of this. This one has tomato, well, salsa, essentially. This one does not. What do you guys think? So this is pretty much done at this point. I wasn't lying when I said I love onions, so here's the proof. The proof is in the pan. So I'm just gonna let this get a little bit more translucent, and then I'll plate it up so I can show you guys. This is the end plated result. I took 1 piece of each. Today's Super Bowl Sunday, so I'll be getting filled up on other crap. So accompanying this is a little vegetable medley, and I made some cauliflower mash. Let's cut into it to see how tender it really is. And let's dig in. Look at how tender that is. Super tender. Try this one. Oh yeah. Essentially just falls apart. Let's try it. Wow, that is amazing. If you guys want me to make a video explaining how I make the cauliflower mash, let me know down in the comments. Thanks for watching.